We're loving and hating and making scenes. Now we just see everything we believe.
What's going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here. Been over a week since I did a video. Well, I've been trying to do this little Knights of the Round Table group discussion for Banlist, whatever. But it's now what, day 7 or day 8 of No Sooner Than? So, I didn't end up doing this at some point. Plus, I've been just looking through bulk. I've been just, I don't know. I've really just been thinking and evaluating the future of the channel and all that good stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna quit or anything. Don't get it wrong. But I'm about to hit 2,000 subs, which it's a pretty big milestone for me in particular. And in order to continue to grow, I want to be able to do new things, do new content, and all that stuff. Most of the content I have now, really it just consists of top 5 lists, deck profiles, combo tutorials, test stands, and sometimes, Banlist discussions. That's basically it. And I want to do more than that, of course. I want to also bring back the whole subscriber duel segment, but the connections here is just really, really terrible. I mean, it's not bad. I have 400 megabytes per second internet, but the problem is, for some reason, the signal just randomly drop out of nowhere, and it does it quite frequently. So if I'm on Dueling Book, I can't get any really good matches in because I know at some point I'm just going to get lagged out anyway. So there's that, but I do have a bunch of rogue decks that I pulled out. For those of you who saw the community post I had made about 5-6 days ago, or less than that, but yeah. I ended up making another community post on what those decks are, and you guys can go and vote on which ones you guys want to see first. Now, I've just slowly been buying cards to complete these decks because I have the cores, but they're not complete yet, or there's just new cards that I haven't gotten yet, and things like that. So, a couple of the decks I can play right now, but I want to leave it up to you guys as to which just older deck you want to see me perform with first. And I am going to start, doing some recorded matches with those decks. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Just want to showcase something new. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. The only time I probably wouldn't showcase a match is if I bricked twice in a row. But, at that point, that's my fault for taking a deck that's that inconsistent to a locals without testing it first. So, that shouldn't be an issue. But anyway, yeah. That being said, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Being a Banlist discussion kind of thing, because this is important. Everybody's got their different speculations on what could get hit and all that good stuff. But honestly, this really all depends on if we're getting a Banlist before or after Worlds. If we're getting the list before Worlds, then it's really likely going to be a very small adjustment list. But if the list is going to hit after Worlds, it's going to be a big list. It's going to be a big hit. Assuming it may hit the top 4, I don't know about Orcust as a deck because, it's 2 months old now, in Tier 1 status. But we're going to talk about the big 4 and what I think should end up getting hit and whatnot. And yeah, we'll go for them. The big 4 decks, starting with the oldest deck, Sky Striker. First card, multi-roll should have been the card last Banlist to get hit and not Kagari. Kagari can stay at 3 for all I care, but multi-roll is the real culprit. Multi-roll is the really, really obnoxious card. Kagari was never obnoxious. I mean, it was good. It kept them in the game a little bit longer, which is what the deck needs. It needs its longevity. It's a control deck. But multi-role, being able to turn the entire deck into a super polymerization for all spells, you know, keep that in mind. I've had people play Call by the Grave under a multi-role, and I tried to stop the Call by the Grave with a ghost spell. They said you can't. I'm like, what do you mean? He says multi-role. I'm like, it's not a Sky Striker card. And he said it doesn't matter. You can't respond to any of my spells. I'm like, yeah, that card's obnoxious. That card needs to go. Not to mention, being able to reset the Sky Striker spells used on both players' turns is another big one for me. Had it only have just been on your end phase, you can reset the cards. It may be a little bit more. I mean, it still wouldn't be balanced. It would still be an obnoxious card, but it wouldn't be nearly as bad. But imagine just searching like 2 Widow Anchors and all that, flipping them over when it's time for me to play my turn. I fail to OTK my opponent, and then on the end phase, the Widow Anchors just get reset, only for them to use on their turn, now to use proactively. Yeah, you're getting like 2 uses back to back of the same copy of the card. Yeah, that shouldn't be allowed. That's really the only card in Striker that I honestly care about. If you want to limit Widow Anchor, sure, but I don't think they're going to go that route. Multi-role is a problem. That should have been addressed, not Kagari. Next, I guess this is just extending to other cards that this particular card goes into, and that's Mystic Mine. Honestly, I don't know why the card was made rather than just putting Kaiser Coliseum back into the game. Like, it's a better Kaiser Coliseum, and honestly, I'm just like, why didn't you just, instead of making this card, why didn't you just bring Kaiser Coliseum to 2 or 3 copies? 1 copy even? Why didn't you just bring that card back? Why'd you have to make this? It's a field spell, easily accessible via terraforming, Metaverse. Not to mention you have Lilith and Trap Trick to turbo into Metaverse and things like that. But that's just for burn strategies. But now other decks are utilizing it. We all know we don't really want the card. Again, ban it and bring Kaiser Coliseum back, and yeah, there's still going to be some people that is definitely not okay with Kaiser Coliseum because that's a pretty damn good card, but it's not Mystic Mine. You know, that's what matters. It's not Mystic Mine. It doesn't stop grave effects. It doesn't stop hand effects. You can still activate monster effects on the field. It's like a goes in. It's like Kaiser Coliseum is like goes in / rivalry, and there can only be one in the same card. To where it's, if you control like a rivalry and there can only be one, you can only have one monster on the board at a time. Assuming you only have a single monster on board when Kaiser Coliseum is active. That's essentially what Kaiser Coliseum is a spell version of 2 Floodgates. But it doesn't stop you from swinging though, that's the real one. If you get the monster off the board, then you're free to do what you need to do. You know, you're free to special summon and activate monster effects and all that stuff. So, you know, it has its own check and balance there. But if you get back Kaiser Coliseum, I'm definitely playing Great Kaijus again. So, yeah. Next deck, we have Salad. There's not really too much you can hit in the deck without really just... Like, it feels fragile, but it doesn't at the same time. It's like, it has so many cards that can replace things that get hit, but if you hit the wrong card, the deck can crumble. I mean, you could try to hit consistency, but again, like, you look what happened with Debug. You hit Debug, and then, oh, Silent Mining comes out, we just start playing copies of Flake Buffalo. It's just like, I feel like there's way too many ways to just supplement more consistency cards, for that matter. And all that. So, I feel like we need to start going after the in-archetype cards. So, what am I saying? I think the best way to really deal with this deck is to hit it in a way to where it's less one-card combo-ish and they have to start requiring multiple cards to do their thing. Now, what am I talking about? Well, there are 4 cards in particular that come to mind. that are generally, these are just one card combos, one card starters, and that is Silent Mining, Salamangreat Circle, Salamangreat Gazelle, and Salamangreat Foxy. People do forget Foxy can be one card combo too, depending on what else is in your hand. If you already have Spinny in your hand, or if you just get into Spinny with Foxy, or get into Gazelle with Foxy, it's combo. Like Foxy's a one card combo too. Like 9 times out of 10, that card's a combo starter as well. Just these one card starter engines. I feel like something needs to be done about that. I feel like if you hit 1 to 2 of the one card engine starters, then then the solid players may have to start committing multiple cards to getting what they need to do to get done. So they don't see many one card starters, so now they have to play level 3 extenders and start off with a Mirage Stalio and things like that. That could be a direction that Konami wants to go. So there's that. So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think regarding Salad? Again, you can put Gazelle to 1, but the problem is there's so many copies of Gazelle in the deck as is. I mean, there's still some people who play debug. You sell Minings, you sell 3 Circles, and you have Foxy to potentially get you into it. It doesn't even matter. You have Mirage Stalio to get you into it. There's too many ways to access Gazelle to where even limiting Gazelle, I feel, isn't doing what you're trying to do to the deck, which is hit the consistency, because there's 12 one-card starters right now. And even more so ways to make Mirage Stalio and get into Gazelle anyway. So, I don't know. I feel like if 2 of those 4 cards get hit, again, Silent Mining, Gazelle, Circle, or Foxy. I don't think Silent Mining is getting hit because that's a generic piece of cyber support. Debug shouldn't have gotten hit in the first place because generic Cyberses, they need their time to shine at some point. The new Signet cards are finally starting to come out, and the new Code Talkers and all that, they're finally coming out. So I feel like hitting Debug was kind of incorrect, but it's whatever. So I'm just going to split this up into 2-part, guys, because I have a lot to talk about with Orcus and Thunder Dragon, because they're combo decks. There's too many ways to tackle those 2 decks, so look out for that. That will be the next video I make, which is part 2. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and